Hey dudes, if you'd one day like to start a podcast and say unhinged stuff like we do, check out Zencastr.
Zencastr is an all-in-one podcast production suite that gives you studio quality audio and video without needing to know all the technical stuff.
Zencastr records each guest locally, then uploads the crystal clear audio and video right into the suite so you have high quality raw materials to work with.
And we love a secured cloud backup because that means you'll never lose your interviews, hot takes, or off-the-cuff fart and dick jokes.
Zencastr is super easy to use with guests too. There's nothing for your guests to download. You just send them a link and they click on it and they join the recording session.
Go to zen.ai/DTFU podcast and you'll get 30% off your first 3 months when you sign up for a pro account.
That's zen.ai/DTFU podcast for 30% off the first 3 months of your Zencastr Pro account.
Seriously, we started a podcast. You can and should absolutely do it too with Zencastr.
Do it.
Hello.
What's up, everybody? It's Erin.
And Nicole, this is Dude That's Fucked Up.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh my God, there's so much lip gloss all over my liquid death.
I know, it's like drinking my water. There's like a whole thing all over it.
It just always looks like whenever there's lipstick on like a glass or a can or something, it always looks like you're at a dive bar and someone named Tammy was just drinking out of it or something. Like
Me.
Yeah,
I'm Tammy.
You're Tammy?
I'm Tammy. Hi, I'm Tammy.
Hi. I really love a nice cold glass of Chablis. If you have it.
Can I get a Bloody Mary? I know it's only 11 a.m., but
but I have a problem.
I'm gonna play some shuffleboard over here. Bring that tasty little drink over here when you're ready.
I'm going to put some Kenny Rogers on the jukebox and get down. Are you looking at my camel toe?
Listen, I know I only have 4 fingers, but I can play darts real good.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. We're Tammy.
We're Tammy. Everyone's Tammy today.
Hey.
Not to be confused with Tanya.
Tanya, I'm Tanya.
Tanya. Yeah.
Up against the wall, motherfuckers. Was that the musical that we decided on?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so long ago.
I know, wow.
Oh my God. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to another installment of Dude That's Fucked Up.
Oh my gosh.
Podcast.
Yeah, welcome.
270 in the can.
Holy shit.
Dude.
That's insane.
Every time the number keeps going up, I'm like, wow,
I know.
We're still at it. Okay, today's episode is one of my all-time favorite things. So
me too.
It's gonna be fun.
I've been in such a good mood all day because I've just been thinking about it, watching clips and stuff. You know.
Same. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's so good.
But before we get to it, do we have any business?
Yes, I do. We do have a little bit of business where we want to know if you hear any weird ads. I think we are running ads through like our podcasting platform, try and make a little moolah here and there, and why not? And we just want to know if you hear a weird one that's like very off-brand for us, please let us know. Like we've gone through and we've gotten rid of a lot of categories. Like you're not going to hear pharmaceutical ads unless it's birth control specific. You're not going to hear like herbal supplements, like none of that garbage. Nothing political, like, you know.
No diet.
No diet,
bullshit.
anything.
Yeah.
No. So if you do hear something that's like that, please let us know. Or if there's just something else that you're like, this doesn't, like a pyramid scheme or something.
Or a Scientology ad or something like that.
Yes. Anything religious, anything culty, please just let us know because we're
unless Brendan Fraser starts a cult, then I'm fine with it.
Sure. He seems fine.
Yeah.
But like, does Jared Leto have a cult?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, not his. So not his.
We should cover that at some point.
We should. absolutely should. Maybe next week, because we've talked about it offline, but I just don't understand how that's that man's face still.
He has a Dorian Gray painting somewhere in an attic, and it is
he is what's
I don't even want to give him the sexiness of a vampire. You know what I mean? Like, or like some immortal thing. He is just, it's a Dorian Gray.
He's Immortal Joe from fucking Mad Max Fury Road. He has like blood bag men that like have to be hooked up to him at all times so that
like
he can
a
have
Peter
fresh
Thiel
blood.
situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, so I think that's probably it. Like, he does have a Dorian Gray. It's a man that's in his early 20s that follows him around and gives him his blood, consensually, of course.
Yeah, sure.
But is it?
Mm-hmm. Is it?
Because he's famous. You
there's
know what
a power
I mean?
imbalance for
yeah,
sure.
there's power imbalance. I hope he's getting paid. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's it for the biz, I think, this week. What about, is that it for you?
I think so. Yeah. Nothing crazy. Check out our Patreon if you want. It's patreon.com/DTFU podcast.
Hell
it's
yeah.
super fun.
Yeah.
Anything fucked up for you this week?
No, I don't. I was gonna share something, but I don't really know how it got resolved, so it's really not that interesting.
All right. Well, fair enough.
Do you have anything? What?
I don't either.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know if you have a segue for this week, but we were talking. Okay. Last week we mentioned Willy Wonka. We were like, we should do an episode on that. So we are.
Yes.
But then we finished recording and we were having a side conversation and you told me a story, which I don't know if you can tell it.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Oh, we were talking about, someone who was hit on by.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This is so, okay. We're in DC at a bar, and it's like a fun dive bar, and I can't remember who it was that it was like somebody, a friend
like who
visiting.
In your group?
Yeah, or one of our friend group. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But they were getting something to drink at the bar, and a dude came up to them and was like, hey, like started chit-chatting, and I think they were tall. The person, I think she was tall. Might have been DJ's cousin. I can't remember. Okay. Anyway, so she's talking to this guy, and he's like pretty tall, and she's tall, and so they were like talking about being tall.
We're tall.
We're tall. Yeah, and it was like okay, and then this guy was like, so yeah, like I think he had a copy of like a Roald Dahl book in his back pocket or something. Like it was something weird, and somehow got on the topic of Roald Dahl.
Yeah,
and
somehow.
And okay, now I know it definitely was who it definitely was. It was definitely DJ's cousin, because this whole thing was so funny because this man was fully barking up the wrong tree because she's a married lesbian.
Yeah.
And so and her wife was like standing right there, and so it was just like hilarious. But one of his like lines was like, so they were talking about Roald Dahl. And he's like, oh, you like Roald Dahl? He's my great grandpa.
Oh my God.
And she was like, oh, cool. Okay. Love his work. You must be like so proud.
Yeah. What do you say? Like, obviously they're
know.
fishing for a compliment, but it has nothing to do with them.
So I mean, I guess it was just like as a conversation, like thing, and so if this guy really was related to Roald Dahl, like cool, like that's awesome, good for him.
But also how tacky, like carrying around a copy of a book to like set on the bar in front of someone and then be like, so they're like, oh, Matilda or whatever, and they're like, oh, do you like Roald Dahl?
Yeah,
it's just like so fucking dumb.
It was so weird. It was just like he steered the conversation. He like ham-fisted the conversation.
Yeah.
you know, so-
Ham-fisted. He didn't steer
Yeah.
it. He jerked the wheel. Like he like went into the fucking cockpit, locked the door.
Yeah. No, he fully.
He's like, this is going where I want it to go.
Yeah, he fully just really. Yeah.
Oh my
he
god.
Roald Dahl'd it.
Yeah, he Roald Dahl'd it. I had a note. I have a note written down on my desk, and I think it's because we were saying like there has to be way better pickup lines, and I think the one we came up with. This is what I wrote down. It just is a quote, and it says,
I didn't come up with this.
Oh, I did then.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
okay.
did.
My opening line, if I was Roald Dahl's grandson, would be, "Is your giant peach wet?" For James and the Giant Peach.
And then you get punched in the face.
I mean, there's just like better, like, do you want to come back to my apartment and put me in the chokey? You know what I mean?
Oh man. Girl, do you have no toes? Because those shoes are square. I don't know. Like
I don't know. What's that from?
The Witches.
Oh.
I want you to hold me captive in a painting.
Oh.
Again, The Witches.
Yeah. I just saw that for the first time last year.
What, the one with Angelica Houston?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the first time?
Yeah, I think.
Bitch. That's one of my all-time favorites.
I know. We talked about it so many times, and I'd never seen it. I'd seen like a few key scenes from it, but I had never seen like the whole thing.
And an iconic role, truly.
Iconic, yeah.
Well, anyway, we're not talking about really any of those references. We are talking about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, specifically the movie from 1971. Mostly we're going to be talking about that, and just the absolute just crazy things that happened with this movie. I mean, it's just like it could not have been made this way in today's time. And if you don't know the plot of Willy Wonka, it's actually called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's the name of the book.
The book, yeah,
by Roald Dahl, all-time great children's author. He wrote this book in the like late 60s, early 70s, I believe. It was made into a film in 1971. And I'll tell you exactly why the name was changed to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in just a moment. But yeah, it's basically I don't know who doesn't know about this movie, but the literal plot is Willy Wonka, who's portrayed by Gene Wilder in the film, has hidden 5 golden tickets amongst he's a candy maker. Yeah. In his famous Wonka chocolate bars. And they go out all over the world, and whoever finds the golden ticket gets a full tour of his tightly guarded candy factory, as well as a lifetime supply of chocolate. And during the tour, the 5 lucky kids tour around, and Willy Wonka tries to tempt each of because these kids are assholes, basically.
It's a test.
When they come.
Yeah,
it's a test. Yeah, it's all a test.
He's testing them. He's not. No, there's no one lucky winner. It's like a test. It's a secret test that they're all taking. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very trippy movie, and
it's a musical. Probably one of the only ones we like.
1,000%.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even consider it a musical. I would say it is a film with music in it, with songs in it.
I mean, it's a musical because they break into song.
Yeah, but it's like,
and it's about what's happening, right?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like.
I get what you mean.
I forget like how many songs are in it. You know.
I just like so many just flashed into my brain because I was like, is it a musical? Before I say this, is it a musical? But it is.
No, it is. It is considered a musical, and it is. The songs are fucking dope as hell.
Oh my god, they're so good.
They still fucking slap after all these years.
Yep.
And yeah, so basically Willy Wonka's taking all these kids through his fun house, and whoever is like the best kid wins.
Yeah.
So one by one, each child disappears from the tour. It's like very sinister.
It's
Um,
they're like dying essentially.
but this is the thing about Roald Dahl is like he could get away with this kind of stuff because it's like I don't know. There's something fantastical about
Yeah.
like the whole premise, and it's like, well, of course this isn't. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Like, was it scary to you as a kid?
Not really. Only like a couple scenes like creep me out.
But it wasn't when the kids were like quote unquote dying. Like it wasn't when the kids were. It was like Slugworth was scary as fuck. And
and the
like,
tunnel scene.
The tunnel scene when Gene Wilder's going just like ham on that role.
Yeah. But there's nothing like when the kids like get got. It's like it's funny. It's funny, and also like there's like a little bit of an out with it because it's like, oh, go check the boiler room and make sure they didn't make it all the way to the boiler. You know what I mean? There's like always like a little caveat, like they didn't really die. You know.
Also, this is fucked up, but like they deserve it. Like like
you're like rooting for these kids to get brutally murdered.
Yeah, I don't know what the psychology of that is, but you're like Willy Wonka said not to do that, so.
Well, and I watched a little documentary, and it's based, I think, on the book Pure Imagination, and it's basically about the making of this movie, and that's like was my main source. And Gene Wilder said in an interview in this film this little documentary that it basically like kids. The psychology of children is that they like to know the parameters and consequences. That is like not having any guardrails or any like authority or any consequences.
Yeah.
Fucks a
kids
kid.
Act out.
Kids don't do well without that. So, and that is like kind of an old fashioned kind of idea, but I do think that is like, it's not like a fascist kind of idea. It's just like there needs to be, you know, some sort of consequence. And
and it can't just be all chaos.
It can't be chaos. Kids can't thrive in those conditions.
Yeah.
And it also like when you're a kid and you see like kids being real fucking nasty and bad, you're like, that's unacceptable because it's unacceptable if I was to do that.
Yeah.
And so what the fuck's going to happen with this kid if they keep going on like this? Like, I want to see some crime and punishment. No, I don't know. You know what I mean, though?
Someone needs a timeout. Yeah,
Someone needs a timeout. So
no, I know what you mean. It's like, I mean, kids need to know how they don't know how the world works when they're little. So, like, all of this is, like, helping them figure out how to be in the world. And, like, you know, the more chaos that you have as a child, the harder it is when you're an adult.
Yeah, and also another thing that I really love about this movie is it doesn't talk down to kids. It's like
it's not patronizing.
It's not patronizing, and it's not this like la la la. Like it is this like fantasy, but it also is like kids have, you know, edge to them. Kids have are people and they're human beings, and they have like they have underlying subversiveness too. And it's okay to like let that kind of, you know, stuff come out a little bit. And like kids are precious and good, but like, and we should protect them from things, but like also like I don't know, it's the same thing as like, I don't know, when you put like something on a pedestal, it just like it doesn't, I don't know, it has the opposite effect sometimes.
Well, kids also need like autonomy within the parameters of like a safe home. Like, you know, I don't know if you've seen that show on, I think it's on Netflix, but it's like a Japanese show where these kids run errands. Yeah. Which to us here in the United States sounds insane. It's like you're letting a 2-year-old go to the supermarket like
it's so cute. Oh
a mile away or whatever, and maybe whatever, debatable, that's extreme, who knows. I don't bring that up to discuss that, but I do bring it up because I read an article about that show and about how it's really important for kids to have responsibilities and like chores and to be able to quote unquote run errands. It helps them have a sense that they're contributing and they're part of this ecosystem of a family. And like, it's all very fascinating. Like,
Yep.
and you know, so like you know, you could do stuff even in your backyard where it's like, can you please go pick me some basil? And you don't go out there with them and you give them the scissors or whatever. Like, you've done it with them a bunch of times, but at some point it's okay to let them do it. Like,
Yeah.
think about how we were, you know, it's like, my mom wasn't scared for me to like do the dishes or cut stuff or help with dinner or whatever. Like, you know, at some point, like I was just doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm so perfect. So it's like, you know, really hard because.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. It's like that's one of the things about this movie that is like so different from, you know, any kind of like Disney movie or whatever. It was like made for adults, but also with the intention of like, you know, telling kids like, if you watch this movie, we trust you to be like okay with it too, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Like,
So
like, it's like maybe it'll feel a little scary, but like also trust us that we're not gonna put you in a scary place. Like,
yeah.
like there's scary parts in it, but the movie overall is heartwarming and positive.
And that's how I feel about like
all the Roald Dahl stories.
All the Roald Dahl stories.
They're scary.
There's because kids can get into scary situations, and it's like the whole main arcs of these stories are that like the kid comes out of, you know, some kind of like conflict and remains a good golden hearted person, like, and so like, you know, Matilda, like she came from a terrible family and was just still a angel, and you know, in the witches, the kids were literally like turned into mice and they still made a life, you know what I mean? And it's like, and they still triumphed over the evil. And so I don't know, with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like there's this like subversiveness to it that is, it is like very much a test, but like, I don't know. I don't know that it was meant to be this, but they made it in the movie this kind of like, you know, as the audience is watching and consuming it, they're not sure what's happening because Gene Wilder is such an incredible performer in this movie. Yeah. This is, I think, one of his best films. Like, it's iconic. So
it's, I mean, it is so, I just was thinking today, like I could watch this movie, and I have watched it like thousands of times, I feel like. Because it's just so good. And even, we'll like get into some of the parts of it, but it's just so, his performance is just so like heartfelt, but crazy.
Like very nuanced and very layered.
So yes. And there's so many fun things in this movie that if you watch it as an adult, like there's just all these moments that like you didn't understand as a kid, and that's so fun as an adult to watch now, and they're delightful. It is so good.
Okay, so let's get into some of the like nitty gritty of this movie.
Okay.
This whole movie was made because the director, Mel Stewart, had a daughter who read the book Charlie and Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl and was like so obsessed with it. She's like, Dad, you have got to make this into a movie. Daddy,
I want a movie.
You have to make me a movie. But no, I'm sure she was just like, Dad, please read this book. It's so fucking good. And it would be such a good movie. And he's like, okay, kid, whatever. But then he reads the book and he's like, oh, hell yeah, this would make a fucking awesome movie. And I need to bankroll this somehow. I'm going to get a huge company to fund it. And he totally did. He got
Genius.
Quaker Oats to fund it with $3 million, which would be about 20 something million dollars in today's money.
Wow.
It was Quaker Oats, and they were trying to get into the candy bar game. It was like, the early 70s, and sugar was just popping off, I guess. And
Processed food, baby.
yeah, processed food was just really having a moment. And so they were like, we want to make a candy bar. And he's like, listen, I have a great idea for you. What if you called it a Wonka bar, and we make this movie? You give me the money for this movie, and it's just like a huge advertisement for your new candy bar that's coming out.
Amazing.
And we rename the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory instead of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And they're like, fuck yes, we're on board. Let's go. So yeah, they changed the movie title to that because they wanted to basically have free advertisement for
Oh my God.
a Wonka bar.
I love it.
And side note, when they did have the Wonka bar come out, it there was something off about it, and it just melted. It just melted. It was like defective, basically. The formulation for the chocolate bar, so it was like recalled, and it didn't even like really do anything. So, but I mean, there was a Wonka brand, which is
There still is, but
yeah,
I don't think
it's owned by Nestle now.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say I don't think they own it anymore, but
yeah.
I mean, what an amazing opportunity for a brand, because the candy the whole time looks amazing. Like everything they open in, nothing will ever taste as good as I think the candy looks in the movie.
Oh, 100%.
Like that first
Truly.
opening scene, it's just like, and every time Charlie buys a chocolate bar and opens it looking for a ticket, or like anyone, it's like, it looks so good, and it doesn't, it's fine, but it's like,
yeah, you're just like, wow, this is like a dream for a kid,
Yeah.
So so this is basically becomes this movie that's funded by Quaker Oats.
Oh my gosh.
Which I did not know. And there's a few things in this movie where it's like, what the fuck is going on? Is this real? What is happening?
Yeah.
I think the one thing that there is like a kind of an urban legend about, I guess, is that the chocolate river was real.
Oh.
It wasn't. Maybe it was at one point. They tried to make it work, but it was not good.
They tried to put cocoa powder in it, but I think it like wasn't like
the right color.
Yeah, and it was like clumping or something. Like something wasn't going right with it.
Yeah.
So they tried, but I think it ended up just being like water and food coloring.
It was just water and food coloring, and apparently
maybe
it was
with
very
some
cold.
Old cocoa in there. Like it could have had some old remnants.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it ended up being very, very shallow, and the kid who played Augustus Gloop had to fall in several times. And in the documentary Pure Imagination, he's like an adult, like recounting his like takes that he had to do.
Yeah.
He's like this full German man who still is like in a lederhosen, by the way. He is a precious human. He was like, so it was super shallow. He's like, how am I supposed to fall into this water? They're like, oh no, there's like a hole right here that this is your mark. You fall in this hole basically in the water. And he just like had to keep falling in this like one deep area. And he's like, and it was very cold, and I was so cold the whole time. And it's like, we could not get away with treating a child like this on the set of a film today. Like this would never happen. So
yeah, and he had to drink it.
Yeah, he was like
shit.
Yeah, it was just like gross brown water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so while we're on the topic of like what's real and what's not real, one of the craziest, coolest things about this movie is the chocolate room.
Yeah.
The big room they walk into, it's huge, and there's just candy everywhere. And then the chocolate river and waterfall and stuff.
Right.
That shit was real. Like they had not seen that room yet.
Oh, their reaction to it.
Their reaction was real.
Yeah.
The director, Mel Stewart, this was his idea. He worked with like this. Their set designer was like this brilliant guy.
Yeah.
They made this whole set that had some of the stuff was real, like they're actually eating it. But like when they walked onto this set, they had not seen it yet.
Oh
And
my
Mel
gosh.
Stewart made sure that nobody saw the set. The kids hadn't seen it. The adults hadn't seen it. And they walked through the door, and Willy Wonka goes and like, ladies and gentlemen, the chocolate room. And they like look, and their faces are genuine. They're like in awe of this set.
Oh my God. I have full body chills.
Oh, can you imagine?
It's so
cool.
And he starts singing, and he's like edging them. Like
Yeah.
he's like letting them take a step here and there, and like whipping his cane across them so they can't keep going. It's just so good. And and then one of the coolest, most fun things, but I mean, I think this is a fact, but there was some of the like plants, I guess you would say, like in the chocolate room were edible.
Yeah, a third of the stuff in the room was
was edible. So they like actually the prop people actually incorporated real edible candy and fun little treats into the set design, which is like so fucking cool. And
and like they're like discovering it as they go. They're like pointing them in the direction, and they're like, giving them their marks and stuff. But they're like, this is real. This is real.
You
this
can
is wax.
take a bite of this. Yeah. This is whipped cream. This is
Mm-hmm.
licorice. Like you can eat these things, and you can hit this tree and eat the stuff that falls down or whatever. It's so cool. But the one thing that, well, not the one thing, but one of the things that isn't edible is the butterscotch like cup or whatever. I don't know why I always thought it was butterscotch.
Because it's a buttercup.
Oh, yes, that's why. Okay. So the little buttercup that Willy Wonka picks up and sips and then takes a bite out of is actually wax, and he had to do it multiple times with multiple fresh cups and spit out the wax. I'm sure he ate some of it, which is so gross.
Yeah.
Oh God, we've all had those wax lips. It's like, they're nasty.
Yeah.
God.
So that whole scene is just amazing. So
oh my gosh, so good. Okay, while we're talking about genuine reactions too, so this is what is so cool about Gene Wilder, and he was like so involved in this role because he had ideas for it and like wanted his portrayal to like go certain ways, like he had ideas that he wanted to execute. And so one of those things was there's a few pivotal moments in the film where he gets really intense, and he purposefully didn't rehearse those scenes. Yeah, like he didn't rehearse those scenes with the actors in the way that he ended up delivering it. He knew he just kind of like marked it, or he gave like a very, very like light performance, and then in the moment, and one of the scenes is the boat scene where they go through the tunnel after Augustus Gloop falls into the water.
Yep.
They get in the boat and they go through the tunnel, and it's so creepy. As a kid, I was like, what is I still don't think I understand that whole scene.
Yeah, it's just trippy.
It's just trippy.
Yeah.
But it's scary. Like he was being really scary, and the kids, their reactions of it are actual, like they're like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, it's terror. Yeah. Again, you couldn't do this with kids now these days doing this film. Just like, we're gonna traumatize the children because we want their genuine reactions. I hope everyone signed off on that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's truly like, it's such a crazy scene, and he's like screaming at the top of his lungs, and everybody's just like, oh fuck. Yeah. And that was just, it was intense. And the very beginning scene, when he comes, the very first time we meet Willy Wonka, he comes out with a cane and he's like limping. And this is a choice that he was like, I will only do it if I can. I will only do this role if I could do it in this way.
Yeah.
And I want to come out like this. And the director's like, okay. So basically he comes out like limping with a cane, and then he does a full-on somersault and stands up and is like, ta-da,
Yeah.
to illustrate very right off the bat that you don't know if he's a liar or
Yeah.
if he's genuine. Like that was the
Unreliable
whole
narrator.
Yeah, that was the whole thing of where you're like, this guy is a confusing weirdo. So
Oh my God, it's
yeah.
so good. That's the best. Oh,
And then
that-
also there was a really interesting thing. His office at the end, you know how everything's like cut in half?
yeah.
It wasn't like that. It was like this beautiful set that the set designer had made, like a gorgeous office.
Yeah.
And the director, Mel Stewart, was like, this isn't right. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite line up with his you
Like,
know,
Pathos
character.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they were like, cut everything in half and just like, that's how we make it weird and trippy. And that's what they did.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It always bugged me because the clock is cut in half, but then the thing that like is the pendulum that's part of the clock isn't cut in half. I don't think so. It's like, I don't know. It still moves into the missing part. I don't know. I was always like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Also, okay, this I just was like so this I just thought this was very cool. Okay, so the last line of the movie was almost yippee.
Yeah.
That's it.
Specifically, Grandpa Joe says
No.
yippee.
And then everybody was like, Grandpa Joe cannot have the last line in this film. Like,
absolutely
no,
not.
PU, no thank you. Like, it has to be someone else.
Absolutely not.
And so while they were filming this, Stewart contacted the film's uncredited screenwriter, David Seltzer, which was an interesting tidbit.
Well, because they gave the full credit to Roald Dahl.
Oh, that seems weird. Roald Dahl had a bit of an ego and like some weird shit going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so David Seltzer, they call him. They're filming in Germany.
In Munich.
In Munich, yeah. And so they call him on the phone, which is super expensive, and they're like, he's back in the States, and they're like, look, this last line, no one's a
sucks
fan.
balls.
It
Yeah,
sucks balls. We need a better line. And
it
he's
sucks giant peach.
It
and
sucks James's giant peach.
Yeah, it sucks schnozberries. We need something new.
Oh my God. It sucks the Trunch Bowl. Ooh.
Talk about a chokey of a line.
Oh. Okay, so they call him and they're like, we literally have 5 minutes. We're all on set. Everybody's already dressed. We're like filming this right now. You have 5 minutes to rewrite the very last line in the movie. And he calls back in like 2 minutes. And if you're familiar with the movie, it has one of the best last lines. I have, again, full body chills. One of the best last lines of a film. And the line is from Willy Wonka to Charlie, and he says, do you know what happens to people who get everything they want in life, Charlie? They live happily ever after. Oh, and in the notes I wrote, why am I crying? Because it's just so good. It's just so good. And he delivers it so like.
His face is like
God.
emotion is coming through.
Yeah.
It's like pure joy and
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's
so
just
sweet.
It's so sweet. Oh man,
my
I
God.
miss Gene Wilder so much.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, so the people who are in this movie, they're all just like, some of these kids had been in stuff before. Obviously, Gene Wilder was a super famous actor. And it was just, the movie revolved around these kids in the movie, and I just think it's so cool that Charlie, that was his one and only movie he ever did.
Yeah. It's wild to be the lead of a movie that's been this formative for generations of children, and to be like, yeah, that was good. I think I'm gonna go become a veterinarian.
Yeah, he literally, the guy that played Charlie, Peter
Yeah.
Ostrom, he just was like, okay, I'm gonna go do life now.
Yeah. I think a lot of the child actors retired. Or you know, maybe they did maybe one or two other little things or whatever, but they didn't pursue it, in a real way.
The girl who played Violet Beauregard. She was already like established child actor, and
Oh.
she did like a couple more things, but
Okay.
like that was it. And then
I think the only person to do stuff into their adulthood was maybe the woman who played Veruca Salt, Julie Dawn Cole. She was
Yeah,
like a soap opera star.
yeah, she was
Okay.
in a UK show called Angels or something like that, where
Oh,
it's like
cool.
about like student nurses or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, cool. But
Yeah.
it was just like these regular people flew to Munich, made a fucking banging movie, and we're done.
Yeah, and initially the movie was like not that successful.
Yeah,
I
that
think
makes sense.
Parents like were a little pearl clutchy about it.
Yeah.
And it became kind of like a cult classic. Also, Roald Dahl didn't particularly like the film.
He hated it, right?
He hated it, and he thought that Gene Wilder was miscast. He wanted Peter Sellers to be
yeah. I mean,
to be Willy Wonka, which would have been good. I mean, if you've seen Pink Panther movies, those are like family movies to me. Like,
I don't think he would have brought the heart, though. Like, I just don't.
I don't
think
know.
He would have
It would've
brought the
been-
heart that Gene Wilder brought.
And it's so funny because I just think that Roald Dahl was just being a bitch about it, you know.
Yeah. I
And
think his ego. There's like
Yeah.
some weird shit.
because Gene Wilder, he was simultaneously sinister,
Yes.
weird, warm, aloof somehow, even
Yeah.
though he was still like he was so layered and multifaceted
Yeah.
in this like fantasy movie. I mean, you know, it's just it's a truly incredible
It's a feat.
performance. It really is.
He was genius in this film.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roald Dahl hated the movie so much that they wanted to they were like considering a sequel after this film because it did well enough, I guess.
He was like, don't ever touch this. Charlie in the glass, or Willy Wonka in the glass elevator.
Yeah, he was like, absolutely not. And when he died, his estate finally was like, yeah, fine, whatever. And they he didn't even want anyone to ever remake it. Like, he was like, no, hands off. No one ever gets to touch this franchise again, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know, obviously, like his estate gave the green light after he passed away, and in like the early 90s, I think. And then they made Johnny Depp, remade Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in like the mid 2000s.
Woof.
Yeah, not going to talk about that one. Hate it. First of all, why? Second of all, no. Just no.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad. Okay, we're gonna find some ways that we can also like ruin all of our collective childhoods that like love this movie, because there's just some like weird shit about this.
Yeah.
So in addition to Roald Dahl hating the movie, which is like somehow makes it really sad, I think last week I mentioned the TikTok Erin sent me where Grandpa Joe. I called him Papa Joe in this note.
Papa Joe.
Papa Joe. It's like, Papa Joe.
Papa Joe.
Okay, I think I called him Papa Joe, and it was like subconscious because he has coke fingernails. So it's like maybe I think he's in the mob or something. Anyway, so he had coke fingernails. In addition to having that like tongue on the Snozberries where it is so unpleasant.
Very cunnilingus-y.
It's so kind of like that. That man licks a lot of holes. All of
Cunnilingus.
Cunnilingus. And I don't know. It's his pinky nails, and there's photos on the internet where they're like waiting to see Willy Wonka come out. It's like their day at the chocolate factory, and his hands are on Charlie Bucket's shoulders, and you could see his pinky fingers are like way longer than any other nail on his hand. And there's like some varied explanations as to why, but the most fun explanation is that they're coke fingernails.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
God, of all the fucking people in this film, Grandpa Joe is just the absolute worst.
Yeah. There's a very active Grandpa Joe hate subreddit. It's called Grandpa Joe Hate. And like all it is memes people make. Literally, there was like 12 posted just today. It's very active.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should go look at that subreddit.
You should. Yeah, you'd probably love it. And like, okay, so we were talking about Papa Joe and his cunnilingus on the Snozberries. But I guess, okay, this is very weird, but Roald Dahl, like a few years after the release of this film, he wrote a book that was very geared towards adults. I don't remember the name of it. But it was like not for children. It was more of like an adult project that he did. And in it, he used the word snozberry as a euphemism for a penis. And so he retroactively wrote a
I thought it was for balls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, snozberries. That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know.
This is from people.com. It's not that reliable.
Oh.
Well, it's fine, you know, but yeah,
but we love it.
Way more sense.
We love a dick and balls joke.
We love a retroactive dick and balls joke, but it's like it's weird that he did that to me.
I know. Yeah, like just referencing one of his books, like
yeah,
it's funny.
It's
I
like
don't know.
okay, well.
and one of his children's books. Like,
yeah. Also, Willy Wonka already sounds like a euphemism
for a dick. Yeah,
for a dick because of Willy. Yeah.
Let's see what else. What else will ruin your childhood here?
Oh my God, I think the Oompa Loompas were probably mostly drunk.
Hell yeah, I hope so.
There's like a lot of accounts that they were being very mischievous. Like they were like circus performers from all around Europe, I think.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't speak any English. Like they were just partying and like
yeah, they were just like there for a good time.
Yeah.
And they were like playing practical jokes on the cast, like taking all their shoes and tying them together and shit. Like they were just like fucking around, dude. They were there to party. I mean, they're all adults, you know, on a set that's like a lot of kids, you know.
Yeah.
So they're like,
I love that. Make it fun.
Hell
too.
Yeah. And it's like camaraderie, and they're all like have similar jobs already, so they could all relate to each other, you know. And it's like, yeah. So they were just partying down, and then I learned. This is a fun fact. There's a woman Oompa Loompa, which I noticed today.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was looking at all of them, and I was like, oh yeah, one. I think that one is a woman. Like. She has yeah, like you could tell just her face is softer and like she looks like a lady.
Oh my God,
an orange lady with crazy eyebrows and green hair, but yeah, it's very fun.
Okay. I got one for you.
Okay.
So in early drafts of the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl had different names for the kids. And there was like more kids, but he like, you know, edited it down. And I want you to know that Mike TV's original name in one of the first drafts of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was, are you ready?
Yeah.
Herpes Trout.
What?
Yeah.
No. Why?
Because this kid was a piece of shit. Like
they're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Herpes Trout. Oh my God.
Herpes Trout was Mike TV's original name in one of the first drafts, which is so funny to me. I was like reading through little like, you know, facts about the book. Yeah. And there's some facts about the book that are pretty fucked up. For instance, the original first edition of this book of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the Oompa Loompas were African pygmies.
There was like some weird slave vibes.
Yeah, and the NCAA like reached out and was like, "Hey, Roald Dahl, listen, this is not cool."
Yeah.
And to his credit, he was like, "Oh, you're absolutely right," and from then on, like edited that out. I mean, still, I think in the book it's like there were hippies. So it was making fun of hippies, which is you know, like
they were
fine.
like it was kind of like they were like a commune,
kind of,
or
yeah.
something. Oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, like stoner people walking around doing all the stuff. I
mean,
which is kind of
they still are kind of portrayed as stoners.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. However, like using little people in the movie is problematic. Yeah. Like in its own right. So it's like his replacement in the book was like would have probably been fine, but they didn't go that direction in the movie. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
What I guess I don't know. I don't know why using little people is problematic, but I guess if they're like supposed to be like we're laughing at them instead of with them.
Mm-hmm. And then from then on, I think, little people have just been called all kinds of names.
Yeah.
Including Oompa Loompas, and like we're portrayed in this way that's like
not fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I thought we'd go through. I said this last week. It sounds wild now, but we're gonna do it.
All right.
I thought we'd go through and rate all the adults in the film.
All right.
I don't know why I said this last week. I guess it's because I wanted to know if you thought Slugworth.
I think you were in a horny mood.
I was in a horny mood last week, and now I've calmed down a bit.
You've cooled your jets.
I've cooled my jets. Not as horned up as I was last week, apparently, and it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
We're gonna do it. Fun fact about the first. I don't know if this is gonna be one of the people. The Candyman.
Yeah.
Was originally going to be was considered to be played by. No, Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, yeah. But the producers wouldn't let him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start. We're going to go in order of appearance, okay?
Okay. Like appearance how?
In order of appearance in the film. The adults we meet along the way. Okay.
Gotcha.
So the first one is the Candyman. With his scrumdiddlyumptious bar, and that's a euphemism for his dick. Okay, I can get to horny real quick.
All right. We're giving how many Wonkas are we giving him?
Oh.
How many Snozberries are we giving him? How many licks on the Snozberry?
How many licks does it take till you get to the son of a Snozberry? I think he's the hottest adult in the film.
What about Gene Wilder?
No, I don't think Gene Wilder's hot. Oh, I do, but in another way. He's more okay. I think I like this guy because I like how he's dressed. I like that he is the Candyman. That's hot. Okay. I like his weird old-timey haircut, and he is giving me Dick Van Dyke vibes, and I think I have a weird thing for Dick Van Dyke.
Who doesn't?
Okay. So you get it.
I get it. He's like if Dick Van Dyke in who am I thinking?
Mary Poppins?
No.
You're thinking of two people?
Two people. What's his name? From Back to the Future.
Michael J. Fox?
No.
Christopher Lloyd?
No.
The guy Crispin
Glover. I just spit everywhere. Yeah. He's giving Dick Van Dyke and Crispin Glover had a baby. Okay? Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay. I know.
Okay.
So, yeah, I would. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I would too.
So 5 licks on the Snozberry. That's that out of
5.
Out of 5, sure.
Okay.
Okay, 4 licks on the Snozberry.
Wait. Okay, well, I give him 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he can
Who can make the sunrise?
He can scrumdiddlyumptious my Snozberry.
Oh,
he could scrumdiddlyumptious my gobstopper.
Oh, God. Bitch. Oh.
Okay. The next parent that we meet is the mom.
She looks like a mom.
Yeah.
She's tired as hell.
She's fucking tired. This woman works so hard.
She needs a good moisturizer and a deep conditioning treatment in her hair.
She has your dad's ponytail.
She has my dad's ponytail. Oh my God. They couldn't even get her a good wig on this fucking film, man.
They're like, is that her own hair? They're like,
no.
Okay, but she's hot because she has, I love her dimple chin.
Mm-hmm.
She sings such a beautiful song. She's a strong working woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you did give her a makeover, call the Fab Five. Get
Absolutely.
Queer Eye Germany. Give them a call.
Yeah, get those fucking grandparents a separate fucking bed. Like, come on, like
Get them separate beds, a separate room, a separate house, a separate neighborhood,
yeah,
a separate continent. Get
Yeah.
them out of. She's doing so much laundry just to make cabbage soup for those fucking farting turkeys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, she's always having to wash their goddamn huge California king bed clothes. Like their fucking sheets are nasty as hell.
But I love her. She's so kind. She's a good mom. She's a good daughter and daughter-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
And
Best.
I feel like she's I'll give her 3 Snozberry. 3 Snozberries out of 5.
I'm okay with that. I'm on board.
Yeah. But she's like hot in her like real person way. You know what I mean?
I don't want to even sexualize this woman, but if
Well,
she
that's
wants
what
that,
we're
I
doing.
will. Okay. All right. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Next one. It's the grandparents in the bed, and they all count as one.
It's okay. I'm gonna give them a higher rating than you would think because I know they're all fucking.
Dude,
they're all doing some weird shit. They're swinging, they're fucking each other, they're sucking toes. There's like they're doing some weird shit.
They're like, oh, Charlie brought home a loaf of bread. Oh, I'm gonna have the energy to fuck tonight, and it is. And they already have a lot of parts aligned to holes because this bed is not long enough for. I mean, like, it's almost not long enough. They're like hole to hole.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how they're not killing each other because I know they've been jabbing each other with their toenails for decades. Okay.
Oh
bitch.
my God.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a negative Snozberry for me. I don't know.
But also I can find some reasons why.
And it was Grandpa Joe that is initiating all the weird sex stuff with everybody.
Yeah, because he's got the coke.
Yeah.
So he's like on another level. You know what I mean? Also, man, I wish this picture, Grandpa George has these huge glasses. I wish I kind of like them. And honestly, I feel like, you know what? I don't want to shame these senior citizens. Whatever freaky shit they want to do, I love it. And,
we love
good for
it.
them. And I just think, like, hey, we're 4 people always in a bed. Something about that is hot.
Yeah. Literally and figuratively. And you know what? There's also something liberating about, like, look, we all know that they got some stank on them. Mm-hmm. And they don't care. Mm-mm. So there's an entanglement happening, and it's not just the bed sheets. So.
Yeah. Okay. The next person we meet is Mrs. Gloop.
We love her. She is the moment. Oh,
her hair.
God. Her hair.
I mean, yeah, she's giving me like big drag vibes. Between her hair, the pattern that she's wearing, the cut of the dress. We meet her and she's like she is the runway is Munich extravaganza. Because she's in like a very formal
chocolate
German
factory realness.
Chocolate factory realness. Because she's in like a little hat, I think, when we meet her, and she's in like a full German like get up. Yeah, a full fit. This photo of her is from when they arrive in the chocolate room, but she's all dolled up for the day.
Yeah. She knows what the business is. Good for her. She's getting it. I give her 4 Snozberries.
Me too.
Out of 5.
That's what I was gonna give her too. Okay.
Hot.
I love her. Her hair honestly is like it
good.
Makes the whole first half of the movie for me. Okay. Next we meet
Slugworth.
Hipster daddy.
Ugh. No, he gives me too much of the ick because he reminds me of speaking of Christopher Lloyd's character from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You know who I'm talking
about?
The judge, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Remember
like it.
me, Eddie? When I killed your brother?
your brother.
I talk just like this.
Oh, now
Okay.
talk about a movie that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I
I watched
know.
that movie so much. Oh my
Oh
god.
my God. I'm dying right now because also I just did that so loud and I bet Pete heard it and is like, what the fuck is going on?
My like fucking sound on my
Oh, yeah,
computer
yeah, yeah.
is like
It just
blown
peaked.
out.
I don't know. There's still something about him I love. I feel like Slugworth right now in today's time. First of all, that bottom lip, yum.
It's a slug on his face.
No.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me because he has no upper lip.
He has an upper lip on one side. I love it. It's like kind of off. I don't know. He has very good
Okay.
bone structure. He has hipster glasses. He could be like a hipster today.
Okay.
And he is kind of creepy and goth, but I love that.
Mhm.
And I mean, he's still not my favorite, but would I? Probably not. But am I going to say I would? Yeah.
So how many schnozberries you giving this fool?
Oh my God. All my schnozberries.
Ooh, bitch.
No. Three, I think.
I'm giving him one schnozberry because he's too creepy. And
Oh.
I bet his peen is like a slug, so
Like
slug
it's
worth
slimy?
less. Yeah. Like it's like not good.
Slug worthless.
I don't know.
All right. Well, I think he's like a bad boy and I like it.
All right.
All right. The next is Veruca Salt's dad. I couldn't find a good picture of him in character. I think because he's making this stink face the whole time.
All the time. Yeah.
I saw some pictures of him as like a person and he is a handsome, good looking man. And, but not here. But ignore that anyway. We're also looking at his energy and we're just finding ways that he could be hot.
I mean,
he's a good
No.
dad.
no, he's a terrible dad. He sucks. He is not a good dad. He is raising a monster and enabling
Yeah.
a psychopathic child. So no. He gets nothing from me. Zero.
He gets less than Slugworth, but he probably has a normal dick at least.
He probably has like erectile dysfunction because
Because he sucks so bad.
unless I think he's the type where you have to you have to be like dom with him because
Oh yeah, no, you
know,
do. Yeah.
like tell him he's like a worthless
Oh,
piece of shit.
I like
and
that because I
then he'll
kind of
get a
want to do
boner.
that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then he gets one slug. He gets one Slugworth. He gets one schnozberry from me.
He gets one Slugworth, which is equivalent to half a Schnozberry.
Yeah.
Okay, I
The
love that.
exchange rate is low.
Okay, I like that he probably does need to be dominated, and I feel like I would want to do that, and I would take out all my aggression on him about how shitty he's raising his daughter. I'd be like, you are fucking worthless, and you're gonna, and I'd wear something very, like Matrix, dominatrix. I'd wear fucking Neo's wraparound sunglasses,
fucking pleather.
and a trench
Yeah,
coat.
yeah.
Okay, Mr. Beauregard.
Okay, Mr. Beauregard could get it.
Oh, okay. Because of the suit.
He's giving that like 70s creep,
Yeah.
like
grabs your butt in the office.
Yeah, which we hate, but
Which we hate, but not if we want it. Not
Yeah.
if we're in role playing in that sense. Maybe
Also,
that's our thing.
If his last name is Beauregard, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. He is giving. I'm gonna give him 2 schnozberries.
Okay.
Maybe three schnozberries for me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to give him 1. I don't like his red tie.
there's something like, like Monty Hall, like, kind
Oh.
of like, game show host about
Yeah,
him that
that you
is
like.
appealing to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't like that. See, I would rather take
Mm.
sniveling idiot Veruca Salt's dad. You
Mm,
would rather take greasy car salesman
mhm.
Violet Beauregard's dad.
Yeah.
It's just a type thing.
Mhm.
Okay. Then Mike TV's mom.
Oh, Mike TV's mom.
I
Yes,
know.
bitch.
Yes. And this
All the
outfit, the
Snozberries.
fucking tight white fucking pleather jumpsuit or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, she's obnoxious as fuck, but we're not counting
Yeah.
that against her. We're just judging her sexually.
Mm-hmm.
I love her makeup.
She's working the cat eye. She
Yeah.
has fake eyelashes on.
Yeah.
She has beautiful eyes. Like,
Yep.
yes, flawless.
Yeah.
We love her.
I'm giving her 3.
We hate her, love her. I'm giving her 4.
Okay.
4 Snozberries for me.
Honestly, like, I want her to give Charlie's mom the makeover.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, she'd be mean about it.
Oh, she would?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we meet.
100 Snozberries.
Oh, my God.
All
Gene
of the
Wilder as
all-
Willy Wonka.
All the Snozberries.
Look at that fucking shirt. It's cool.
So fucking cool.
I don't, you know.
Who can make the sunrise? This
Oh.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who can? Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Timothée Chalamet is pulling it off. Okay. I can't fucking
Absolutely
wait
not.
to see what he does. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see what my Timothée does
No, I think
as
it's gonna
Willy
be
Wonka.
awful. And also, okay, I don't understand first of all, Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka, 0 Snozberries for me because he is not sexual at all. He is
What? Look at that face. Look at those eyes.
He's
Look at that.
pure heaven. He has a twinkle in his eye. He's just there's just like
He's-
something
he's-
so ethereal about him, and it's not sexual to me.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I want it to be because I love his jacket, and I love I love that he is like doing weird shit. But I don't know. There's just something. I just like love him too much as like a father figure or something. You know?
Yeah, I can see that. That's not what I'm seeing.
Yeah. That's fair. You're an
that's-
adult woman with your own
yeah.
opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And
You want to rail
Willy
him.
Wonka. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the last one? Oh, okay. But
All the Oompa
if it's a
Loompas?
party with the Oompa Loompas, maybe I'm in. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah. Hell yeah. How many
Ugh.
Snozberries?
So all the Snozberries.
Got it. Yeah.
I want to ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill, the never-ending gobstopper, fizzy lifting drink, and the 3-course dinner gum.
Okay.
What are you like gonna have forever? What would you have once, and what would you never have? Assuming they all work perfectly and like it's a good time, not the movie time.
Oh, they all work perfectly?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's going to have to be a fuck the everlasting gobstopper, kill the fizzy lifting drink, and marry the 3-course meal
Ooh.
because I want that. You know? What?
I want that.
I want that.
Okay, I think sorry, I'm also like trying to think through this. I think kill the never ending gobstopper. Because
Oh.
it doesn't sound like it tastes good to me. I want to marry the fizzy lifting drink so I could fly.
I don't want that. That's too scary for me.
And then I guess
Charlie and Grandpa Joe almost died from that shit.
I wouldn't do it in there. I'd do it out in the world.
And then you have to burp to come down. No.
Oh, yeah, I can't burp. I'd have to fart to come down.
See?
Okay, you're
See?
right.
You gotta
I do
think,
what you
gotta
did.
think.
Yeah, I do what you did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any final thoughts?
I just love this movie, and I can't wait to show it to Jack and Damien when they're old enough. There's so many fun things that we get to, show them. And this is one of those things. And I just love this movie. And I can't wait for Timothée Chalamet's Wonka. I know it's going to be bad, but maybe it will be good. I don't know.
Why is he attractive? His face is very small in the middle of his head. Like, he has extra face on all sides of his head.
I don't think so. I think he's fine. He's very angular. And I like that.
In the middle, and then there's like extra face on all sides. It's like someone pulled it. It's like I got sucked into the, like he breathed too deep in his nose, and then his whole face went.
I don't know about that. That's not what I see. Again,
no, people love him. I don't. But
fair enough.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I probably won't see it. Maybe. I just love this one so much. I just think Gene Wilder's performance is perfection. It's just like, also, he has that twinkle in his eye that Robin Williams had for me. And it's like this multifaceted, like, you know,
can
it's like.
Do drama, can do comedy.
Yeah. It's like the heart.
It's like breathing, you know?
Yeah. But it's like they're bringing all their heart up to the surface and you can see it. And it's like. It's all their heart. It's maybe also drugs. Maybe it's both. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. It was the 70s.
Yeah, man.
But
that's the other thing. That's the other thing about this movie is that it's like pure 70s and it's weird in that way. And it can't be duplicated because this is just what it was. And mad props to the director, Mel Stewart, for having the vision of making this movie. It sounded like very like, you know, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
And like it was a mess in a lot of ways, but like it just, that was the beauty of it, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we love it.
Love it. So good.
Yeah, but that's all I got. Anyway, follow us on social media.
At DTFU Podcast, all the places.
Yeah, go to our website. It's dtfupodcast.com.
Yeah.
Let us know how much you love or hate Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, this movie. Who do you think was the sexiest adult?
Who do you think gets all the schnozberries?
Who gets all your schnozberries? Oh, yes. All right.
Thank you so much, guys. Listen here. Stay excellent to yourselves.
And each other.
Bye.
Bye.